I don't know if it's working right now, so I am just going to wait for this scrolling thing to load, just in case you are watching. Okay, hello, good afternoon everyone, or good evening, or whenever you're watching this. I tried to do a live video earlier and then the power cut out, so half of my place was cut out of power, which also included the internet, so woohoo! Anyway, and I'm now using my mobile hotspot to do this because I want to tick this off my list today. So I'll try to keep it concise. This morning I was listened to two different things, or two different amazing women this morning. The first one was a lady called Melissa. I'll hopefully be able to drop the link in the comments, and hopefully you'll be able to access it because it is in a group. She was talking about the concept of making short-term and long-term decisions based on, making decisions based on short-term and long-term satisfaction. For example, you are, I don't know, you're eating because you're stressed or you're emotionally unstable, or you feel low about yourself. Typically the food that you might gravitate to would be unhealthy food, or food that doesn't attribute to your comfortable, your healthy self, if that makes sense. I need to stop saying if that makes sense. And I say a lot of ums as well. That's interesting. Anyway, so making decisions based on short-term or long-term satisfaction, and it also prompted the thoughts of just making general life decisions, whether it be financial. She did mention financial as well, where if you're making decisions based on, like, your shopping, for example, if you go to the shops and you just spend without a list, you know, just get whatever you feel like at the time. Is that going to contribute to your future visions or success? I don't know, you know, who knows? So, and generally it won't. So make decisions based on long-term versus short-term success, or satisfaction. That can be anything in your life. So that's kind of what I took away from it, and I will try to link the video underneath this. Hopefully you'll be able to access it. If you can't, I might contact her to see if there's a link or possibility of people being able to access it, because I thought it was pretty good, and the group that she is part of is pretty interesting. Anyway, so that's one. The second one was Mel Robbins. Now, I have spoken to her, a lot about her in a number of posts, videos, etc., because I truly find her really inspiring. I am in the current process of trying to implement some of her strategies that she suggests. I am quite slow at doing so, but I am trying to do my best that I can. One of them obviously was the heart challenge, the other one was the high five challenge, and there are other things such as high-fiving people when you meet them, instead of, you know, saying just sup or hey or whatever. Give them a high five because you're like celebrating each other, giving yourself a high five in the mirror. This one that I was listening to was her book, The 5-Second Rule. I've also mentioned this briefly as well. I haven't been able to implement this rule yet because I'm still learning and listening to her book, and I was very hesitant in doing so. And I genuinely didn't believe that it didn't really work, and when you have that attitude about things, you don't really have the motivation to implement them. So, but listening to it today, I think my brain was a little bit more emotionally capable of receiving her information, and I learned a lot. It is very hard to put sorry, I just got it. technological message saying that you guys might not be able to view this properly. So let me know if there's any issues with this. I'll probably watch it myself just to make sure. Anyway, so she talks about different types of procrastination, them being a sign of stress. I think the biggest thing that I took out of it so far, that I've really am going to implement, is the concept of being very specific about your morning routine. Doesn't matter if you're a morning person or not, a morning routine is extremely important for your success. So apparently, and she did cite this, and I can't remember who she cited, so I will have to go back to the book because it's an audio book. I might active, most efficient time of your day, basically. That is the time that you should be implementing plans for the day, looking after yourself, all that kind of stuff. So she talked about the concept of the snooze button as well. Now, we've all heard this over and over and over again, and I get that. I know that people go, oh, we've heard this again, I don't want to hear about this. I get it. I was like that too. I used to, and for most of my life when we started having alarms, I was setting about 5 to 7 alarms in the morning. Yes, 5 to 7 alarms in the morning. Thankfully, I had no housemates or roommates because they probably would have driven themselves up the wall. Because they were literally every 5 to 10 minutes just to wake me up. I am not good at waking up in the morning. I love being awake when I'm awake, but typically, I hate getting out of bed, as I spoke about yesterday. So the snooze button, there is science behind it. I can't cite it yet because, again, it's an audio book, and I will have to get the physical book or listen to it again for me to tell you exactly where the science is from. But the snooze button is very detrimental to your awake cycle throughout the day. So she said that you typically go through your sleep time. You typically go through sleep cycles of 90 to 110 minutes per sleep cycle, basically. And 2 hours before you you wake up, your body is preparing for you to wake up. So 2 hours before you wake up, your body is preparing for you to wake up. So she describes it as your body thawing, I guess. Now, if you wake up when that alarm happens, or when you wake up on a weekend because your body clock has woken you up, if you decide to go back to sleep, you start that sleep cycle all over again. Now, I've heard a lot of people, and I've experienced this myself, complain of waking an hour and a half to 2 hours before, after their alarm, or after they were supposed to be awake, wanted to be awake. That is because your brain has just gone through another sleep cycle. And apparently this actually delays your day by 4 hours, because I think during the night you go through 4 hours of sleep cycles. 4 hours of your day is delayed as a result of hitting that snooze button. Now, it's bloody hard, I get it. It's very, very hard to get out of bed. It's very hard not to hit the snooze button, but she has suggested some pretty cool strategies that you have probably heard of as well. And again, when I heard these, I was like, yeah, whatever, it's not going to work. I have tried it a few times, and it does work, and it is sucky, and I hate getting out of bed when it happens. But her strategy, and she talks about her morning routine as well, and it's going to be different for everyone. But I suggest listening to her audiobook or reading her book, because she goes into a lot better detail about it. Anyway, so she suggests putting your phone in the bathroom or in a separate room away from your bed. And if you need alarms and things like that, put it in a room that you can hear your alarm, or have an alarm next to your bed. But she didn't really suggest that, but that's kind of, you know, if you need something in between. But if your bathroom is near you, or if your lounge room is near you, and if you set your alarm, you can hear it, do it. Just put it in a different room and decide to wake up when that alarm goes. The only time you're going to check your phone in the morning for the first, you know, hour or two, once your morning routine, don't check your phone unless you're turning off your alarm. But turn off your alarm, don't check your phone. Don't check it at all. Then find half an hour at some point, like she suggested, like brushing your teeth after you wake up, then, you know, showering, bed making while you do your teeth. You also need to think about, you know, just let your brain think. And when you think, you think about things that you would like to achieve that day, or think about things that you want to achieve, or just in general. And then eventually, in that block of time of waking up, half an hour of that time will be dedicated to writing down 2 goals for that day that you're working towards your bigger goals, and then planning your day based on priority, and even starting to do those things, especially 2 of those 2 goals that you decided on. Spend half an hour, or even if it's 5 minutes, of dedicating your time to planning your day, writing down your goals, and putting it in a place that you can see, so it's a lot easier to implement. Now, I have always sworn by pen and paper, whether it be by phone, pen and paper, whatever it is, as long as you're seeing it consistently throughout the day, whether it be a photo and you save it as your screenshot, or whatever the case may be, a screensaver. I typically write it and then I put it on my fridge, because I'm generally home a lot of the time, and if I am working, I generally know that I'm working and it's in my calendar. But make sure those 2 goals for that day are written down, and make sure that you start them within that half an hour or 5 minutes or whatever. Plan your day. Plan your day before your day begins. Because she described the concept of going on social media, looking at the news, going to work, all of that sort of stuff. As soon as you do that, someone else's priorities become yours and overlap yours. Someone else's priorities become yours or overlap yours. As soon as you go on your phone, you go on your computer, you interact with other people, you go to work, whatever the case may be, all of those things distract you from your priorities and make other people's priorities your priorities. So that's what I took from her thing, and there's so many other things that I've taken from her audiobook, but I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, because I would rather you know, listen to it yourself, or I talk about it another time rather than spending half an hour to an hour talking about it. So I'm going to implement that starting tomorrow. I am going to put my phone in a different room. I'm going to set my alarm. My bathroom is close enough for me to hear it. And I'm also going to turn off everything except for, like, do not disturb. I'm going to put do not disturb, but, like, put it in case, you know, family member or close friend calls me in the middle of the night and that's urgent, then I'll put it so I can hear it. But it's going to prompt me to get out of bed. And then I'm going to decide after this call to plan a morning routine based on, you know, what she's shared in her stories and stuff like that. So, and what's going to be more efficient to me. And it is going to take time, and it is going to suck, but it's going to get me out of bed, and it's going to make me succeed, and it's going to make me think about myself more than other people. And not in a selfish way, but you need to look after yourself first. And the last thing I'm going to briefly talk about is the concept that I am going to do a live at about 6 p.m. I'm going to schedule it 6 p.m. tonight, Australian Western Standard Time. That's in Perth, West Australia. And if you're located somewhere else, or if you're not available for that time, then that's totally okay. But I'm going to schedule that time to do what I discussed in the last video. And the last video I talked about the concept of writing down negative things, or negative things that you want, or just negative words, phrases, whatever that you want to oppose, or that's whatever's on your brain, just write it down. And then after that, we're going to write down the opposite of those things. So kind of like a brain dump, and then we're opposing it and trying to think more positively. I haven't tried this strategy before, but I feel like it's going to work in relation to just helping empty our brain of negativity and filling our brain with positivity. So let me know if you're available at the time. I'm going to share those things that I mentioned throughout this video. I'm doing a little bit better today. Excuse me. I'm doing a little bit better today, mostly because I got up and I went to Messy Play, and I was listening to Mel Robbins, and she's quite inspirational for me. I'm now going to make some decisions on what I'm going to achieve today, even though it's a lot later in the day and my brain is pretty dead already. But I've made healthy choices for my food, and I've continued to do so, which is pretty exciting. So I will catch you at 6 p.m. tonight, and we'll see how it goes. You do not have to be my Facebook friend to participate. You do not have to be my Facebook friend to watch these videos if you're already watching these videos. I really appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you later. This is going to be first time doing 2 lives in one day. I'm also, tomorrow, I'm going to see... Oh, and I've also already found some of my hearts, which I'll comment underneath. I'll send some of those, comment those things underneath, those pictures. As soon as I decided I was looking for hearts, I have seen them like literally everywhere today. It's pretty cool. So I will talk to you later. Catch you. I hope you're having a great time, and having a great day, whether it be lunchtime, dinner time, whatever day it is. I look forward to talking to you later. Thank you very much for your support, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.